going on, guys? How you doing? I know you're doing well. That's good. I just got done playing the Escalation map pack, and I love it, man. It's actually a good map pack for once. First Strike was absolute trash. I literally deleted that from my hard drive. I kid you not. I don't even play it anymore. I deleted it from my hard drive. Thank God this one was actually worked on and is actually good. The First Strike map pack was the map rejects they didn't want to put out with the game, and they just threw it on in a map pack. Oh, why not? Just give it to them. Yeah, no, it's trash. That shit is in my trash, literally. But anyway, this is the only map that I've actually played on thus far when I'm recording this commentary, because I was playing some computer games and I was like, damn, I need to put out a commentary. So I went on Call of Duty. This was my first game. I just downloaded the map pack while I was playing, and then I turned around, played my first game on Hotel, I think this is called. Yep, Hotel. And absolutely destroyed. So, yep, there's a little G11 gameplay on Hotel for you. But enough about that. By the time this goes up, you guys already know the big news of the year. The death of Osama bin Laden. And while this isn't a new concept to you, I'm sure, because it is all over the news, the newspaper, social media, everything, you name it, it's been blown up to all hell. But I really wanted to talk about it, no matter how much it's been talked about, because as a New Yorker, I'm reminded of 9/11 and the tragedy that went down quite frequently. If you're not a New Yorker, you can't really understand how often it truly does come up in conversation. I was thankful enough not to have a family member or somebody that I know hurt in the tragedy, but a lot of people have, because the city, it's a lot of people commute to work, so a lot of people that work in the city don't live in the city. Thus, a lot of people around me had parents working in the city. I've heard a couple stories from people around me, and their parents should have been there that day, but they were sick or whatever. There's a ton of those stories, but yeah, so 9/11 really still hits home to this day. So the death of Osama bin Laden was definitely a big victory for the state of New York. It was a big victory for the country in total, but the state of New York especially. And there's videos online of literally the entire state of New York just rejoicing. There's thousands of people in the streets singing the national anthem and God Bless America. It gives me chills seeing that many people, just absolute enjoyment. It's a shame that it takes somebody to die to come to that enjoyment. But when it's a man like that, I'm glad he's dead. It's horrible to say, but a man like that, it's acceptable. But I really wanted to give you guys the full story, because I don't know how many people actually know the full story. Like, I talked to people in my school, and they're completely ignorant. So I decided, you know what, I'll just do a commentary explaining the story. So I think it was upwards of 3 years ago, a detainee in Guantanamo holding cell was interviewed by, I want to say, the FBI, and he released information that he used to be a messenger for Osama bin Laden, and he might know his whereabouts. So we received this intel and really had to go about it with caution. And our initial searches came up empty. We couldn't find Osama for anything. So we assumed it was just bad intel. We did not, give up, though. We didn't just relent and say, whatever, forget it. Because he is, he was the #1 on the FBI's most wanted. He was the guy we wanted to take out. He was the head of the beast, so to speak, for terrorism, the man in charge. So he was not a small deal. So we received that intel, but we really put it aside because we just thought it was false. Anyway, I want to say probably about a year ago, we got another intel about the location of Osama in Pakistan. And we did not receive permission to go into Pakistan to look for him because the Pakistani government did not want anything to do with this. Now, my take on this is that Osama paid the Pakistani government, because if you didn't know, Osama is was a billionaire. His father controlled many oil fields, and he had money, so he had enough money to pay off this government. Now, this is just total speculation on my part, but that's pretty much what I'm assuming to be true, because even a couple days ago, we did not receive permission to go into Pakistan. So that was totally, we weren't allowed to do it, but really we knew he was there. There's a few things I'm confused about in this whole situation. One, that he was so unguarded, but I will get to that later. So anyway, the U.S. sent in 2 helicopters of Navy SEALs to take out Osama bin Laden once they realized for sure he was there 100%. And what I find funny is that after 4 years of searching cave systems, we found this jackass in a mansion. Who didn't expect the mansion? I don't know. Anyway, they say it was a mansion, but I've seen some pictures, and it still looks like a crap hole. But I guess that's because it's Pakistan, so everything's kind of relative. But moving on now. So we sent in 2 helicopters, and one actually stalled, and we managed to get it into the facility. So it was pretty much rendered useless at the time. If we had brought it back to the United States somehow, we could have fixed it, obviously. But right after a raid on one of the biggest terrorist leaders in all of the world, you can't just stick around. So the 2 helicopters landed and engaged in an immediate 40-minute gunfight. And I found out that Osama actually was involved in that gunfight. A 70-year-old man on dialysis was involved in this gunfight. That's when you know shit's hitting the fan. In all honesty, that's when you know shit's hitting the fan. But so the gunfight went down, and we obviously came out victorious. And when we busted into him, he had 4 hostages in front of him as a meat shield. Now, I'm trying to put myself in the head of Osama bin Laden, which is difficult because he's got quite a beard and I don't. But we have spent over $1 trillion, lost the lives of thousands of troops, and spent 10 years searching for you, and you think 4 victims is going to matter to us? Yes, they were innocent, and yes, they were just citizens. They didn't have to die. But that is not going to stop the Navy SEALs from shooting you. So, thus we shot him in the head. And it was definitely a rejoicous moment for the country. But I just found out today that when we killed him, we actually found computers and thumb drives, like the little USB slots, thumb drives of memory. So we took them back to the United States, and we later found out that the information stored on that is even more important than the killing of Osama bin Laden. That's what was stated by the FBI, not the FBI. I don't know who it was, but they stated that the finding of this information was more important than the actual killing of Osama bin Laden. So to me, that means they found a headquarters or so of Al-Qaeda. They found people in charge, people involved. They found names, locations. And it really makes me laugh that this man saved this information on a frickin' USB drive. I mean, what is going through your mind? I can't comprehend it. You saved this on a USB drive? That was your grand protection scheme? You didn't have some getaway? He didn't have some tunnel system underneath this mansion of his that he could have ran away when shit hit the fan? This man on dialysis had to shoot for his own life to protect his USB drives of information. I don't get it. I don't think I'll ever get it. But anyway, he's dead. That's fantastic. So yeah, we have all that information. They haven't released exactly what that information is. I don't think they ever will. Apparently, we gave him a traditional Muslim burial at sea, because no country would take custody of his body. We tried to give it away. We were like, God, take this, and every single country said no. Even the countries he was born in. I think Saudi Arabia is where he was born. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't care. But even they denied. So that's when you know when you're a jackass. When an entire nation rejoices over your death, you were a bad, bad man. I don't care if one person rejoices over your death, but an entire nation, whoo, you did something wrong, Poppy. But that's pretty much all the time we have. So, thanks for stopping by. As usual, if you enjoyed it, just leave me a comment. Let me know how I did. Thumbs up the video. And subscribe if you want to hear more. Another shout out to Taro Gamer, who let me post a video on his channel. That'll be going up tomorrow. And that's all for that, guys. Thank you, and goodbye.